All right, hey guys, how's it going? Thomas Grabowski here. Just sitting here in the parking lot. I was just kind of having a little bit of a chit chat with myself, and I had a client that I was working with that had some questions about weight loss and diet. And it really makes you think when you're actually working with somebody, like which foods to recommend, and which foods to incorporate, and which foods to eliminate from your diet. Because again, as I talk about a lot on my YouTube channel, I talk about avoiding gluten, wheat, dairy, eggs, corn, and soy as a part of the Acne Clear lifestyle. However, everybody's very, very different, and I was also touching upon the concept of metabolic typing, right? So everybody's uniquely different, and they're wired differently for different foods and different food combinations, so it's going to work for them. However, between the protein type, the carb type, and the mixed type, there are fundamental principles that are consistent through all three. And this is what I've noticed through my experience, and I noticed with my Acne Clear journey, is that there's certain foods that are consistent. So what foods are those? So number one is non-starchy vegetables. If you haven't heard me say it once, you're going to hear me say it again, because I really need to repeat this message over and over and over again, is that non-starchy vegetables are your best friend when it comes to fighting acne. Non-starchy vegetables are going to help eliminate, digest food, and excrete nutrients from your body and wastes, most importantly, waste from your products. So if you've been eating a lot of sugar, processed foods, a lot of junk, a lot of foods that your body can't really recognize, the non-starchy vegetables are going to help move these foods down, but they're also going to help digest and assimilate other nutrients while moving them slowly through the body. You don't get that high spikes of energy and rushes that you would typically get from maybe caffeine or high sugar. So that's where non-starchy vegetables come in. They help slow down the digestive process. They help slowly break down the foods, but they also help with the minerals and vitamin absorption, which is very, very important, and they contain a lot of vitamins and minerals. So that's why I recommend non-starchy vegetables as number one food source. Number two is proteins and fats. Again, proteins and fats are going to be your building blocks or the satiation function of your diet. So essentially, proteins and fats are going to help with many, many functions in your body, particularly building your muscles, building your heart, building your brain, keeping your brain and joints lubricated. You're going to have sharper thinking. You're going to have steady energy throughout the day. And it's going to give you a little bit of sense of groundedness. So if that's something you're like missing in your life, you feel very sporadic or erratic, or you feel like your energy and mood is all over the place, chances are you're not eating enough protein. I know it's very common for individuals who are vegan or vegetarian to have these spontaneous ups and downs of energy, and it's sad to see, because the easy solution is just to listen to your body, because it knows what's best. And biology cannot lie to you. If you're craving specific foods, you see it's a little bit ridiculous when I see vegetarians trying to eat like meat-based alternatives with plants. It's just like you could just be eating the meat in the first place, but there's this guilt around eating meat because they feel like they're a bad person if they do eat the meat. But remember, it's not just any type of meat that you're eating. If you're eating good quality meat that comes from local farms and sustainable agricultural systems, you're actually supporting good farming practices. If you're supporting good farming practices by supporting good quality meats and products, not only are you helping your own health, but you're also helping the ecosystem, the earth, the farmer, your local economy, and all the systems around you. It's really about creating good systems where we can have a sustainable future. And number three, carbohydrates. No matter who you are, where you are, everybody should have some sort of carb in their diet. Now, depending on your metabolic type, you may do better off of a higher starch diet, like high sweet potato, high rice, high oatmeal, high quinoa, this kind of matter, or you may be somewhere in between, which I believe a lot of people are somewhere in between on the spectrum. I know I'm a mixed type myself, so sometimes I'll eat a little more carbs, some days I'll eat a little less, but I find that there's a healthy balance of carbohydrates for myself, maybe somewhere between 150 to 400 grams of carbs per day. Again, that'll vary from me individually, and that will vary from person to person, but carbs will vary from person to person. Or if you are on the protein type, you may do off of very little carbs, or you just may add more non-starchy vegetables, but still maybe a little bit of sweet potato, or a little bit of beets or carrots or butternut squash or zucchini. Like, again, these are starches, but they're actually very low in sugar. Starches, having some of that is going to definitely be much better for your skin if we're talking about skin health by cutting starches completely. I find eliminating or cutting them down dramatically will help your skin very, very dramatically. However, eliminating them completely is not ideal because we do also need some kind of carbs in our diet. I find without it, we don't really have that energy we need to sustain us throughout the day. And again, I didn't prioritize as number one. I prioritized it as number three, the least most important. So as long as you have the two other nutrients intact, this is kind of like the add-on. You start with adding more nutrient dense, non-starchy vegetables. Then you add good quality meats and proteins. Then this is when you're constructing a meal, of course. And then the last nutrient you want to include are your starches, right? So this way you prioritize the good stuff and then you work your way down to the less good stuff. I think all of it's good, but it's just about prioritizing and creating a balanced meal. So what do all metabolic types have in common? Well, all metabolic types contain non-starchy vegetables and proteins and fats and carbohydrates. Just the only thing that differs between each metabolic type is that the ratio is going to differ, and there's different protein sources that'll benefit a protein type better than carb types. Like protein type is better off of more darker meats like steaks and red meats and dark ocean fish, whereas a carbohydrate type diet will be better off of leaner proteins like turkey breast, chicken breast, eggs, white tuna, white fish, these kind of things, right? So you have to find which proteins are good for you as well as your metabolic type. So that's kind of like the next step, but I don't want to overwhelm you. If you guys want more information about this, I can definitely make more videos. And if you want to work with me, by all means, like the invitation is there. I honestly made this video for one of my clients just to clarify some things about 3 different metabolic types and where you may fall on the spectrum and which foods are definitely beneficial for your skin. But overall, since my YouTube channel is primarily focused on acne clear skin, we're going to focus on that. But this video was inspired by one of my clients that I'm working with right now, who I'm helping with his fitness journey. So again, if any of you guys do have any more questions or want to work with me, feel free to send me a message. You can DM me on Instagram at Thomas's Universe 2. That is my Instagram, and we can work together and see what kind of goals you have in mind. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and have a great day.